Hey, welcome back to The Lookout with your host, Isekai Keem, and of course, Mr. Noiseless Poet. Today, we're talking about something that people seem to not really be a fan of, but they really are a fan of. We're talking about isekais, okay? Listen, if you don't know what an isekai is, isekai refers to someone being transported into a different world. Typically, this means by you getting unalived. Ideally, from a truck or something like that, but sometimes you be minding your own business and you get yoinked into a different reality. Sorry, man. Them's the breaks. On the plus side, though, you do typically get some type of badass power. Don't matter what it is, you always get something that just makes that life over there a lot better than this life. And some people want to get isekai'd. And quite frankly, I wouldn't mind if it happened and I go one of these powers. Ideally, something like my guy Rimuru Tempest. See, if you haven't seen That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, what are you doing? Go watch it right now. Not right now, about an hour from now. Go watch it. That Time I Got Reincarnated by a Slime covers our boy Rimuru, right? He's a slime. If you play any RPG ever, you know slimes is fodder. They just trash, bottom tier, starter enemy. Think like Pidgeys and Rattatas. It's like that. And he became one of those. Personally, I'd be kind of mad. Until you start seeing what the bull could do with it. Whoo! Bull will go in around, start absorbing everything. Small stuff, herbs and stuff. And then he moves up in the world. He eats a dragon. First episodes, not really spoilers. Bull eats a dragon, but doesn't eat the dragon. It's complicated. Watch the anime. As a result, he inherits his powers, meaning whatever he consumes, he can take the power of it. And from there on out, Bull was like, listen, I just want to mind my business. But people kept trying him. Bull ends up forming a village. Everyone over there takes his name because Bull, that guy, like, I want to be your friend. And he's like, you're in. You're in. You're in. All of you get a name. And as a result,
what Luffy is this, man?
listen, everything's a One Piece reference, not a JoJo's reference.
No, but everything's a JoJo reference.
Everything's not a JoJo's reference, okay? It is not, okay? That Time I Got Reincarnated Slime has not done that. Although we have had crossovers and mentions of other manga and anime inside That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. We covered that last episode. But to me, that's got to be one of my favorite isekais because it's not only about showing how powerful you can get, it's showing the power of minding your own business. He really just wanted to chill. He's like, listen, y'all give me this area. I won't bother y'all. Y'all won't bother me. We all cool peoples. And as long as you don't cross that line, everything is just fine. But when you cross that line, you'll find out what happened about that time he got reincarnated as a slime. I'm just saying. Give it a try, though.
Did you really just do a rhyme scheme, bro?
I did. No, it was unintentional, but it just came with it. It just came with it, though.
You like tell these people what you was doing before we started recording, bro?
Huh?
Why don't you tell these people what you was doing before we started recording?
Oh, I was playing RuneScape. And I was watching Don.
No. You not innocent, man. See, this man was over here making faces. And I'm sick of you already. In regards to making faces, or at least faces in general, Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy is another isekai that's kind of like a territory builder. Why would you do that? It's another territory builder where he and his parents are in the regular world. He gets pulled over because they were trying to summon a hero to the new world. Just so happened, he happens to be ugly per that world's beauty standards. So his guy was like, I'm going to get you over here. We're going to hook you up with these new powers. You know what I'm saying? And everything's going to be sweet for you when you get there. I know the god that's over here. We're good. He got there in front of the goddess of the new world, and she was like, I don't need you mingling with the human population because you really are horrendous looking out here. So she took away his ability to speak the language of the humans of that world. She really didn't hook him up with no powers either. And she dropped him in just face first into some barren land amongst the creatures. Now, his god came through from the human world and was like, she tripping, my bad. Let me hook you up with a little something real quick. And he basically is just trying to set a world nicely for himself. In the first season, he kind of underestimates himself and doesn't realize exactly how strong he is. But he really comes into that, and the first season is about him just kind of adapting to that new world. And then In the second season, he steps away from him really doing any major fighting and more so focuses on teaching people and building more up on his territory. He's being chased around by a lusty spider that likes him because he's strong, and she's arguably the almost strongest creature that's in that verse. He also has a dragon friend, much like that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
You love a dragon.
That, yeah, we do love a dragon. Linked with his memories, so she's reading the manga from his memory and watching the TV shows. I know at one point she dressed up like a Power Ranger. I thought that was hilarious. But Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy was really entertaining.
Nah, totally. I really enjoyed that. Mind you, it definitely started off because she was like, damn you ugly, bro. I'm sorry. I just didn't think they got those on Amazon because I don't want that over here. Matter of fact, I want you to do everything in your power and in my power to never ever bother me ever again. Looking at you hurts my face. So I'm gonna just send you over there. Meanwhile, Bull was in a whole other world, minding his business. And then here he goes. First thing you do in a new world is get called ugly. Get out of my face. Don't talk to humans. I'd have been a villain. I easily would have been a villain. Which kind of brings me to my next one. Overlord. Now,
Ooh.
If you guys haven't seen Overlord, watch Overlord. Watch everything we're talking about because this is straight fire. Overlord, right? Bull's character. OP. Super overpowered magician character. Skeleton Bull, Mr. I don't have feelings. Imagine Brooke, besides the jokes. If Brooke wasn't with the jokey stuff and had magical powers, it'd be an Overlord. Bull logs into the server for one last time. He's like, all right, man. Damn, me and my guys that don't even play this game no more, y'all got people that we used to play games with that never logged in last online 4 years ago. Bro, come back. We need you. But he waited for the server to shut down, and then he was still there. And all of his NPCs became real peoples. And now he like, I was a villain. Let me see how far I can get with this. And then, boy, imagine if you had access to your most overpowered character and all the other people just completely disappeared and you only had NPCs the entire time. You'd be overpowered. And man, was he like that. Eins Ulgaun, the leader, Tuma Nazarick, and his crew underneath him, beasts. Sebas, Aldebedo, all of them, straight beasts. You just command all these people. He got so bored. He was like, let me go be a hero. Dude donned a suit of armor and just climbed through the ranks just to prove that he could do it. And then he used some... listen, watch Overlord. Listen, if you like gaming, stuff like that, for me, obviously I'm a huge gamer. Gaming and anime kind of go hand in hand for real. But if you're any type of gamer and you just want to see what it'd be like if you lost your morality for a little bit, but you still kind of had it, but you kind of want to flex on people, go watch Overlord, though. I don't think I missed any parts of that, though. It's great. Watch it.
No, there is a movie that I believe just came out, though.
I think so.
So that I'm gonna figure out what the name of it is before we wrap up. I know another isekai that I really wanted to mention, because I know a lot of these have a comedy element to them, but one of the ones that I feel like is super, super underrated is Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash. Now, Grimgar, Fantasy, and Ash, I don't know that your typical anime fan that likes like a power fantasy is really going to like it too much, but it takes place, they got this group of students, they get summoned to another world. This is a break from Truck-kun, of course. They get summoned to another world. When they get summoned there, of course, they get the power system that's in that world, because it's like the adventurer thing where they level up and gain skills and things like that. But the major key difference is that, unlike most of them where your main characters are super strong right out the gate, they come in there and it gets very real for them very quickly. It's like basically we go over with our same physical capabilities, and you really have to train and learn. And they learned real quick because they went out, just for a quick little goblin hunt. Just a quick little goblin hunt. And one of them got clapped up in the very first fight. So it's just them trying to adapt, them trying to gain more power and understanding of the world that they're currently in, them trying to survive. And it's less of the same old. You really honestly get to see an honest struggle and a very relatable story. Because if you're getting dropped in somewhere, you're learning powers. You think you hot stuff, you know what I'm saying? You go out to fight a goblin. Mind you, there are other creatures in this world. And your whole squad get wiped. Y'all get rocked, mopped up. It's crazy work. But it's a short watch, so anybody who's interested, you should definitely check out Grimgar Fantasy and Ash.
Listen, you don't talk brutal anime like that? I could give you brutal anime. Perfect example of a brutal isekai. It has to get picked up. I'm praying this gets picked up again. It's called Drifters, right? Drifters they pull someone directly out of a timeline. So you could be 1492, 4592, don't really matter. You get placed in this war, and you get put along with other historical figures and non-historical figures. I'm talking like Joan of Arc and other names I won't say, but very bad people. And y'all hash it out. Y'all got it. It's like pretty much God's playing chess, and they probably put pieces anywhere they want, and it is bloody. They pull somebody right before he's about to save his whole village, so now he's mad because I was in war. I was literally about to take the chieftain's arm off. But now I can't because I'm over here fighting your war. But you got to fight wars with people like Vlad the Impaler and a whole bunch of other people. And it's just crazy because it's really all because two people behind a desk said, go get that guy, get that guy, get that guy, make them fight. Think Record of Ragnarok minus it only being gods because you take regular people in here. And honestly, it's bloody. It's really hard. It's really horror. Like it's a war. It is literal war. And I was waiting and praying it got adapted for another season. It hasn't happened yet. But listen, just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it can't happen. If one thing Isekai has taught me, you got to believe and hope. And long enough, sometimes things do come true. Sometimes.
How long ago did that come out?
I don't want to talk about it.
No, I'm not even being sarcastic. I want to watch it. I'm about to look this up.
It came out when Funimation was still here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. So it's safe to say that we can keep our hopes up. I mean, we can keep our hopes up because there's old stuff that's been getting revived.
Exactly. Like Rama just got remastered. So listen, Rurouni Kenshin.
They can do Rama. They can do some of these other shows. Yeah, Rurouni Kenshin got a whole readaptation, didn't it?
Rurouni Kenshin got a live action and a remastering and a reworking. So yeah, don't wrong. Rurouni Kenshin was great though. Watch Batosai the Manslayer. Drifters, I wouldn't put it on that level, but it was a good watch all the same. And that's what isekais are about. A nice little bit.
They should have left Trigun alone, bro. I'm not a fan of that. Now, go back over. We're gonna leave the trash where it belongs.
Hold up. Now, leave the trash where it belongs. I'm gonna let you talk about it. I'm gonna let you talk about this one though. I want you to mention this. Adi Fueta from Commonplace to World's Strongest. Talk about it, please. Please talk about
Ari Ferretta is like my least favorite isekai that has ever existed. I can honestly say I've dropped less than 5 anime in my life. Jeez. And I've had to have seen hundreds of anime. Like, no exaggeration. And Ari Ferretta is one of the 5. Because I'll hate watch something. If I don't like it, I'll finish it. Shout out Platinum End. It was trash to me. But Ari Ferretta has a special place within my hatred. This anime was about Buddy, his whole class. They got teleported, right? Or did they pass?
They got teleported.
So they got teleported. They get over there and they're in a dire situation pretty much right away. And his class, he was like the loser of the class. So they decided, we just gonna sacrifice him. It wasn't the whole class.
Of course not.
But it was mostly some dudes that was hating because it was one of the girls that kind of liked him. And then, kids who are scared in certain situations, they're just gonna be like, we're not worried about him. We'll get him on up out of here. If that's what it takes, it ain't got to be me. Okay, so they let him basically presumptively be taken by the creature or be eaten. I'm pretty sure, but he didn't die.
Right.
What ended up happening is he ended up gaining powers and he ran into a vampire. This is where my problem with Ari Ferretta starts. This vampire, as you all know, some of the vampire series, shows, books, whatever you may like, just the anthology of vampires in general. A lot of times, vampires stop aging at the point that they turn into vampires.
Yes.
Now, she's one of his love interests, and she stopped aging around the time that she was 12. So he's like 18, maybe. He looks 17. He looks like he's been through puberty, and she very clearly has not. But they use the excuse of she's thousands of years old as a cop out for them to make this relationship acceptable. Now, my first issue with this relationship, because I didn't even think it was going to be like that at first, but they definitely played in my face. One, my first issue was when he met with this beast woman. It was a bunny woman, I believe.
Yeah.
And she was a full figure woman. Kind of fan servicey, if I'm being honest with you. He legitimately insulted her. He was like, "Well, I don't need all that anyway. I prefer a petite woman," and referred to the vampire that looks like a 12-year-old. I wasn't a fan. And I capped it all off at episode 9. There was a dragon that they were fighting. All I have to say is there was an incident with the dragon and a pillar. And I was like, you can't be serious. This is actually what we're doing right now. I did not enjoy it. Now, and I don't think any of y'all need to even watch Ari Ferretta. Normally, I'll play devil's advocate. I'll be like, check it out for yourself and see if you like it. I don't recommend ever watching Ari Ferretta at any point in time. Before I pass it over to you, though, I do want to mention one other one.
What you
If
got?
that's cool. Let me get my shit off.
Hold on, before you do that though, Ari Ferretta, besides the points he just brought up, the CGI switch up was so...
It's awful.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Hold up. I wanted to... what was the recent anime that came out? There was a recent anime that came out that was really fire. Ninja Kamui. Ninja Kamui, first few episodes was fire, and then CGI took it to... You mean, this is worse than that. So if you're one of the people who were interested in Ninja Kamui and then fell off because of the CGI switch, please do not save yourself time. There are hundreds of other isekai and non-isekais you could be watching. Ari Ferretta is not. It's not on the list. I'm sorry.
It's garbage.
It's not. Noises.
Now,
get him.
Back over, there was another one that it has some awful moments, but it's a satire. It's playing on some of the negative aspects of anime, like CGI or certain aspects. It's meant to be a comedy.
Okay.
So it's called Kamikatsu, Working for God in a Godless World.
I think I've heard of that.
So this anime is like from 2 years ago, I think. And it was on, no, not even 2 years ago. It was last year that this came out. You can find it on Crunchyroll, and it was about basically this kid. He's part of a cult. His father is the leader of the cult. And as some kind of ritual to like give him over to the god that they worship, he put his son in a barrel with a necklace and shipped him out to sea. Now, it's unclear if he passed or if he was transported, but obviously if you're in a barrel in the ocean with no food, no water, no nothing, you're definitely not going to make it very long. He goes over to another world, and he gets put in charge of making people believe in the god that they worshipped in the cult, and he meets the god. It has to be one of the funniest pieces of media I think I've seen in a long time.
All right, I gotta watch this.
It's kind of territory building ish because he's bringing modern technology back to them, and a lot of these take place in like medieval type environments.
Why is that?
So I don't know.
Like, where's I want an isekai in the Philly.
But you have other isekais.
That's
now,
true.
before I even say anything about that, Kamikaze working for God in the Godless World is definitely, it's comedy. I don't know if everybody will enjoy it. But it's certainly hilarious. Now they do, on the other note that you mentioned with them being back in previous times, they do have more modernized versions of that. I would say one of the isekai, for example, it's on the tip of my tongue. Going to more like, because you were mentioning going to more like advanced worlds, right?
Yes.
I'm drawing a blank.
All right. Well, listen. Why do you?
I actually can't. No. Bofuri.
Oh, Bofuri. Oh, is that like a deep dive? That's more like a deep dive.
Those are different types of isekai, quote unquote, because you got your virtual reality type deal.
See, I feel like it's a very thin line between it's an isekai and it's a deep dive. So, like, take games like Sword Art Online, for example, right? It starts off as a VR game. All right, cool. Like, we talked about Shangri-La Frontier the other day. Fire, by the way. Shangri-La Frontier is fire.
Love Shangri-La Frontier.
That's a deep dive game. You're done. Helmet comes off. Back to reality. Sword Art was supposed to be... First off, stop fake hating on Sword Art, for real. Like, people love to hate on it, and it's not like that. Don't get me wrong. Some of the tropes we discussed last episode are present in there, and you can skip certain portions because of that. But Sword Art as a whole is a great isekai. Bull puts on a gaming set, and he's stuck there. And I mean, like, stuck there. Rule number 1, do not try to turn this headset off. If you do, if someone else forcibly takes it off for you, you go kaput. It's over for you. Rule number 2, Big John right here. If you perish in the game, you perish in real life. I don't know how many of y'all play video games where you have the opportunity to be unalived, but if you do, I promise you, very, 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 very few people have completed an entire game without ever checking at least once. So yeah, if you happen to make a wrong turn, fight a strong enemy, get betrayed by your friend, the headset would have ended you. And to me, that's just dope. I mean, obviously, not that part's dope. But the premise behind it, like, yo, this game is really ride or die. This is like from one of those From Software to the extreme. I feel like a lot of Bloodborne players, Elden Ring players and stuff would have really got off during times like that. People would have been on those hit runs.
But see, ain't Angel Beats technically an isekai? That one's not in a medieval type of time frame. So, I don't want to spoil what's happening in Angel Beats. But essentially, he's transported to another world, and they're just still in the classroom. Like, it's a modern day world. They got concerts going on. They're taking classes. They're doing their normal thing. Angel Beats is hilarious. It's touching. It's got just enough fighting in it for the people who do like fighting. The music is top tier.
Yes, it is.
You kind of just get the best of most worlds, not both, but most. So Angel Beats, I wasn't really, because I was sitting here racking my brain and I was looking through something and I was looking at like, what exactly is happening? And the one that I thought that I had forgot about earlier, when I told you I was drawing a blank because I was trying to think of the name of it, it's because it's got a long name, like we mentioned earlier.
Isekai's got to have long names.
So it's called Trapped in a Dating Sim. The world of Otome games is tough for mobs. So he had an anticlimactic death, and when he did, he ended up coming over into a dating simulation game. but he played the game, and he is not the main character or really on the radar at all when he drops into it. But he ends up interacting with all the heroines. But the society itself is really advanced when it comes to technology. So it's not like, okay, so the medieval time deal, I thought of a better way to explain that. Okay. Those are more like along the lines of fantasy. This one is more along the lines of like sci-fi slash modernization type deal.
Okay, that's fair.
But there's nothing wrong with that. And then also in terms of isekai, I like a good reverse isekai.
You mean like that time? I mean, how to not summon the demon lord?
Yeah, like when the character from the previous time comes into the modern day world. So like one such reverse isekai was a salad bowl full of eccentrics.
Oh yeah, salad bowl of eccentrics. One, yeah.
I'm thinking that one came out last year. A salad bowl of eccentrics was this girl and her knight were running away from, like, there was a coup d'etat in the country that they were in, and they jump into a portal and come to modern day Japan. And it's hilarious. So when they drop in, they get separated. The princess, she's still young. She's like maybe 12, maybe less than that. But nothing inappropriate happens, thank Jesus.
Yes.
She ends up meeting this guy that's a detective. And he's like, what is a random small child doing out here? She's like, no, dude, chill out, bro. I'm a princess. I can do magic and everything. He's like, no, you can't do no magic, bro. She literally used an explosion spell and blew up the monkey bars in the little park she was in. So right away he was like, yeah, let's not do that anymore. You just come with me. We're going to figure out what to do to get you where you need to be. And her knight ends up being homeless. And she meets these homeless people. It's like, I like the way y'all living out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come out here and do what y'all doing for a little bit. And she links up with the homeless people and tries to learn about the society and find the princess so they can be back together. She runs into a cult when she does that. She runs into some people that was trying to have her be a bottle girl, if you know what I'm saying. The whole time she's got these freakish physical abilities because they came from the other world. So people are like, exactly what is she and what does she have going on? When she went to the bottle girl deal, because she didn't think nothing of it. She don't know nothing about that. They dropped her in there and she's talking like a medieval knight. And they're like, okay, I like the way you're leaning into this. I like the way you're cosplaying right now. She's like, man, I don't have no idea what you're talking about. It's just me. So anybody who wants to see something refreshing, there's not a crazy amount of fighting in it, but it's more of like a kind of sort of slice of life, but not really. The young princess that ends up with the detective, he's got detective manga in his house, and they actually she's reading Detective Conan.
Oh snap!
Wow, she's reading Detective Conan. And she's learning how to skateboard. Like, she's really diving into present day. And he's like, bro, we really need to get you out of here. A lot of times. And she's like, so you just gonna kick a little girl out on the street like that? That's crazy. Yeah, so I would say anybody who's looking for something refreshing, a different take on fantasy, and you want to reverse isekai instead of isekai, go ahead and check out A Salad Bowl of Eccentrics.
Solid choice there. For me, I'm gonna dial it back. I was gonna do another gaming one, which I will do later on. But for right now, let's switch it up a little bit. Sometimes I enjoy a calmer anime, right? Nothing too long, but it's still entertaining. So let's talk about campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skill.
I love it.
Right? Perfect.
I love it.
So, once again, common isekai trope. Several champions get summoned from another world to help the kingdom combat blase. Right? 3 people come over there. Right? Some dude gets a great power. woman gets a unique power. Everyone's like, oh my God, kudos. Oh, this is great. You must have a great power too. He does not. He does not have a great power. He has an inventory, right? Like a space bag or whatever, which is, first off, I love enemies that have like one of those space bags. Store what you want in it. But he can cook, right? Let him cook. He can cook very well. And not only that, his food, right? Mind you, no one knows about this. No one knows about this because he was like, the king gave him money. The king did it right. Unlike that ugly goddess, right? King was like, hey, yo, my fault, yo. Listen, I thought you would have had powers. You saw they had powers, right? So 2 out of 3, not bad. Here's some money going your way. I'm sorry. And he let him be. I respect that. Bull's like, well, listen, I gotta get out of here. Starts cooking, right? Cooking it up, chefing it up, Sanji with it, Food Wars with it, all that. Watch Food Wars, by the way. He's like, listen, I need to get to another town, but I ain't really got enough for it, so I gotta hire some adventurers. All right. Adventurers eat with him. They like, damn, this shit's seasoned. What you put on this? More than salt and pepper? He's like, hold up. I feel something. Is it soul food? Because it's doing something for me. I feel this. Turns out, Bull cooks, and whatever he makes with it, he puts like energy in his mind and stuff to it, so it reinvigorates and recharges people. So essentially, he makes buffs out of his food. If you eat his food, you will get stronger or faster or improve in some way or several ways, shape, or form based off the quality of what he used and all that stuff. That in itself is already entertaining. And mind you, Bull's humble, Bull modest. His food, however, happens to attract a legendary, overpowered beast. You know where we're going here now. The beast is like, this is good. You're my chef now. You will cook for me every single day. And in return, I won't destroy the world. He's like, I'm going to need more than not destroying the world. Like, I'm trying to get places. He's like, okay. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. I need 100 pounds of food, though. I need this. What is it right now? A chicken salad? I need 20 more of these right here, right now. She was amazing. Immaculate, even. I need 12 more.
What King said, give me 15 of them right now.
Right now. Right now. And if someone else tries to touch this bowl of food, he get crazy defensive. But like I said, this beast that he tamed is literally one of the walking disasters. He literally tamed a catastrophe with his cooking. And as a result, Bull can literally do whatever he wants. He's over there like, oh, I got a mission to kill 100 trolls. And he's like, you can't cook for me because I killed them trolls? I'll be right back. The trolls are done. All of them. Their bodies are right here. Make these. I said, I want to see what troll tastes like. Cook me up some troll. And that's the entire thing. It's like, all right, I want to go somewhere. He's like, I'll get you there, but it's going to cost you. And then he ends up teaching dude magic and all that stuff. Dude who literally had no powers of his own at first, besides the subspace and the ability to cook. And he could pay to win too. He could like pull up an inventory. Imagine if you could go to DoorDash on your phone. Let me get this, and you just pull out the meal. That's what a Bull could do for real.
Crazy.
That's his power. I'm saying, listen, Isekai's got it right. Isekai's got it right. I got a lot of good ones.
And they had a strong slime in it too.
They did.
Sui. I think it was Sui.
Yeah. Sui's a little cutie. So listen, slimes can be great in Isekai's only. I'm sorry. If you see slimes anywhere else, they're not really doing that.
Yes.
And Maple Story.
There's a slime, since you mentioned slimes, it was a witch anime that she didn't want to get hurt, so she killed slimes for like 300 years.
Bruh, yes. Yo, first of all, how do you do that, bro?
I need to think of the name of it.
Bro, I know exactly what you're talking about too. It's bothering me. I don't know the name.
Yep, I'm finna look it up.
I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. Yeah.
She literally, and it's a cozy anime. It's got some fighting in it, but she literally. This one has slimes being the way that they are in actual
fodder.
All of other media.
Trash.
She was scared to death of fighting. So she was an office girl. She worked her soul away for probably most of her life, all of her human life. So then she gets reincarnated to the other world, and she decides, I'm gonna just do the bare minimum. So she killed only slimes for 300 years. Mm-hmm. Little did she know, she became pretty much the strongest person in the verse. But she never left her little area that she established for herself. She was like, I'm good. There won't be any of me hopping out on adventures. I'm not doing no associating with people. I'm going to stick to what I know. I'm going to stay out here. I'm going to protect my little area. And then once that's done, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are good. But it's real cutesy. Like she meets people and they're like, damn, why is she so strong? Why is this random person here? She became a figure in the village without even knowing it because she protected the village before, not necessarily against her will, but unbeknownst to her because there was a creature that came rampaging around and she said, no, I'm going to get you up out of here. But essentially, what makes this anime good and what makes it kind of funny to me is the fact that she is hell bent on removing herself from all and anything, and everyone else, because of how strong she is, either wants to tag along or wants to fight her or becomes obsessed with her because she's nice and she's as strong as she is. So she's removing herself and they are constantly chasing after her. I thought that anime was really funny.
You're not wrong.
Like,
you're not wrong.
And I want to, like, me personally, I would be remiss. I almost forgot about it. But Ascendance of a Bookworm, that has to be
good job.
Arguably one of the top 5 isekai I've ever seen in my life. So
good job.
I'm pretty sure she was a Truck-kun victim.
Most likely who isn't.
Exactly. Truck-kun victim, as per usual. She was, I think, a librarian. I think she was a librarian, but she was obsessed with books in her previous life. She ends up being reincarnated into the body of a sick little girl. And she's in a poor family. And she has like a stupid amount of mana.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, poor people there don't have access to books. Education is for the rich. Reading and writing, if you're not a government official, you probably don't have the funds to be learning how to do all that. So she's obsessed with books and she's obsessed with knowledge. So she embarks on a journey. This entire anime, all she's trying to do is make books accessible to everybody. So, I mean, she's researching ways to look at materials to make paper. To get the money to get the materials, she taught people how to make pancakes. Like, she created a hair accessory. She made shampoo and was selling it so she could fund making books. I think her name was Mile. I'm not entirely sure. But it's compelling because it's not your typical story of I'm trying to adapt to this new world or I'm trying to go on these adventures. She literally just wanted to bring books over into the world and make them more accessible to everybody else. You're probably going to shed a tear or two. You're probably going to get the chills at one moment. She is certainly a badass, but I won't spoil that. And one that I think that you have seen that I would like to hear you talk about, young man, is Saga of Tanya the Evil.
That is on my list.
It's on your list?
It's on my list. Everyone keeps talking about it. It is on my list.
Saga of Tanya the Evil, I'm going to do a quick rundown of that. Rundown.
That is.
Saga, because I don't want to spoil nothing. You have to see that.
I'm going to.
Saga of Tanya the Evil was about this Korean businessman. Or Japanese businessman, actually. It was a Japanese businessman. He doesn't believe in God. He's super skeptical of everything. He doesn't like pretty much nobody. He got pushed onto the train tracks. So when he got pushed onto the train tracks, the world froze. And God appeared, or the equivalent of God appeared. And immediately he's like, I don't believe in God, so I'm going to call you Being X. So, Being X is like, so you're in a compromising situation, bro. I can save you if you, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and do a little prayer real quick. And he's like, I would rather just die. And he's like, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to reincarnate you. So she dropped dropped him into another world, and he's in the body of a poor female child.
Mm.
And essentially, the God of the other world tells him, if you ever need anything or you're in a bad situation, all you got to do is pray and I got you. And he essentially is hell-bent on denying the existence of God. So he's like, I would rather suffer. So he hard works himself to the point where he's able to join the military before he's even 10 years old. And it's basically about the path that he, but now is she, because he's Tanya now, is embarking on because he joins the military. He's trying to climb the ranks. He's very unfeeling, very unemotional, and everybody around him is trying to like build these attachments. Like, dude, you were so badass. And he's like, man, I was just doing my job. Man. I'm not trying to hear none of that. Like, it's gotta be. It's the perfect combination of funny. The stakes are just high enough because he does have to spitefully pray a couple of times, and you're gonna see it. Like, he's gritting his teeth the whole time. Like, it's easily one of the best isekai that I think I've seen. Now, I want to hear what one of your favorites is.
Okay. One of my favorites, for one, like I said, I'm always a fan of gaming anime. Like, if there's gaming and anime combined and it's done well, I'm going to enjoy it. That's why I'm a big fan of Shangri-La Frontier. That's why I'm like Sword Art in most seasons. Now, what did it better than Sword Art for me was Log Horizon.
I didn't see that.
So, Log Horizon, similar stuff, but it's all NPCs. Like, all right, listen, all people. Like, y'all are playing the game and you stuck. You can't log out, you can't exit, and now you just gotta make do in this fantasy world. People, everything starts falling apart. The economy of the game starts falling apart because people are panicking. And people are trying to say, like, maybe if we, work really hard, we can beat this. And they're like, yo, there is no way out of this, yo. There is no way out of this. We have to survive in this game. So here's the new rules. Me and my guild gonna take over. We gonna do this. They gonna do that. Craftsman gonna do that. And he literally, it's not like I'm an overpowered character. The dude's main power is that he's smart. Dude's real clever, crazy tactician. It's like, all right. It's like, we have all the pieces. You tell me how to move them. And he does a great job at it. He builds up his own people. He builds up his clan. He establishes networks. And obviously, for whatever reason, the game naturally adds DLC. Go figure, I guess it was pre-patched. Yeah. Characters that never before seen, places never before seen start getting uncovered because I guess when you literally have infinite amount of time in the game, you start uncovering stuff. And it's like, oh, they found some way, someone communicated to someone on the outside world one time. And they were like, how did you do that? And then whole thing's like, listen, if we can figure this out and we can work together, we can probably get our ways out of this. And it was doing well, and then it got put on hiatus. One thing about isekais, man, anime in general, you could really, 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 really enjoy anime, and it could be doing well. But they can easily pull the plug on it for numerous reasons. I didn't look into this. Obviously, we know Hunter x Hunter has gone on numerous breaks, primarily due to the health of Takashi. And even lately, as of this week, Oda had to put another week off of because he has to get his health up, and that's important. I feel as though we've kind of become spoiled, and we've accepted and expected mangakas to be publishing certain things every single week. When in actuality, as much as I enjoy anime, much as I enjoy One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, all the JoJo's for you, whatever, people need breaks. And that's just part of anime. Does it suck? Absolutely. Like, what you mean? I was binging the John. And don't let it stop in like the last episode. I would never, ever forgive you, D. Gray Man. I'm sorry. Why would you do that to me? Why would y'all even do that? But
now I was gonna say, you put me on the 2, bro. So I wanna give you another one to put you on.
All right. Let's hear it. What you got?
Have you seen? There's a newer one that's out. Have you seen Quality Assurance in Another World?
Is that like the mining operation kind of situation? No. Okay.
No. So Quality Assurance in Another World, because I know a lot of people. So people were saying Frieren was a refreshing take on anime. I think
it was solid.
I think while I do agree that Frieren is good, I don't agree that it's quote unquote a fresh take, because we get that a lot in fantasy anime. What I will say, and that's not me trying to talk bad about Frieren,
I say
But what I
framing
will
people.
say is quality assurance in another world is actually a refreshing take on Isekai anime. So it's similar to the premise of Sword Art Online, where it's a VR game, but and they get stuck in the game.
Okay.
But the game hasn't released. They're game testers.
Okay.
So and they're debuggers. So basically they go in there and they can't come out of the game. But anytime that they submit some material, because they're given a stone tablet to record bugs in the game. So they're having to like walk around to make sure there's no spot you could fall in, reporting things that glitch. Like at one point, people were walking around with their arms out like this and they were floating instead of like arms straight out, and they were floating and going like basically looking like a T instead of actually walking around. So essentially, they report bugs, and when they report the bugs, surprisingly, the bugs get fixed. So even though they can't log out, they still are somehow the communication from just the tablet that they submit the bugs in, they still get fixed. So they call multiple companies that have game testers and debuggers in it to go into the game, but our main character, his in-game name is Haga. Haga is the only one, essentially, out of all of them that decided to continue to actually debug the game. And he comes up with the concept of an idea that he says, all right, you see what I did there?
Yes, I did. I did.
Yes.
Concepts of an idea.
He decides that he wants to complete the game. So he's going to debug along the way, but he's going to beat the game. And he thinks that that's going to be the key to him getting out of it. Now, NPCs are NPCs, but he needs an NPC that actually is able to remember him and do some of the things that he does. So he takes her along with him on his journey to debug the game. Along the way, he meets like good debuggers, bad debuggers who are just abusing the system. Because let's be realistic here. Most people, if you get stuck in a game and you get given a tablet that on top of you going back, it'll let you debug the game, but they can go into like a certain mode that lets them make changes in the game right away. Most people are going to abuse that if they get stuck in the game.
I'm one of those people. I would 100% abuse that.
Yes.
Hashtag rare candy days. Y'all know it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, why would you not? Once I waited until after I beat the Pokemon.
Oh no,
game,
totally. But you know, shout out to
once I beat it, I'm not gonna grind out to find these items.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Pokemon.
Shout out to Pokemon. I'm flying right down in the Cinnabar. I'm surfing along that John till missing note comes up. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. But let's talk about a darker isekai. It starts off lighter, it seems though. You know, like imagine if you get to take your smartphone into another world, right? Sounds cool until you realize that, you know, your smartphone doesn't really do much because you need to charge your battery and you have no one to call or text because interdimensional texts don't work. But let's say, for whatever reason, because you did this, you have the ability to have infinite lives. And that sounds great.
Rates is going to be stupid high. Imagine an interdimensional text go through.
Roaming, bro, yeah, it costs $75,000 a minute and you talk for 3 seconds. So, like, that's on over for you. I can imagine that. Good thing he didn't use it for that purposes. What he used it for was to create checkpoints. You see, I'm talking about ReZero starting life in another world.
That's crazy.
Exactly. You see, it starts off cool, you know, Subaru Natsuki chilling, you know. All right, in a new world, you're like, all right, you think you get some crazy power. Subaru does not start off with any crazy powers, nothing like that. He gains the ability that every single time he comes back. And that's cool, right? Gives you the probability to change things. Like, all right, if I made a right turn and I fell into a pit, I'll make a left turn this time. However, as time progresses, the checkpoint moves. So let's say, Noise, is you and I having a conversation. I meet you and I save your life. Cool. But then the checkpoint goes back and I come back and I'm like 5 minutes before I saved your life, I made a wrong turn and I come back to see you and you're gone. And I just can't go back again. It just is what it is. So he takes information he knows. He's like, all right, bet it. I talked to you yesterday. You told me this, that, and that, and that. Your favorite color is purple and this and that. And you can either be like, all right, I believe you. Or you can get hostile. How do you know that? You stalker. And then you can unalive me. And then I'm like, I got to change it up. So you're constantly living several lives within a single life. And his journey is him literally just trying to, he has this crush on this person. You'll see her. She's a very interesting person. I will leave it at that because I will not spoil anything for this for you. But people, all your choices are permanent. So imagine okay, perfect example. Imagine you're training your entire life, right? And you keep fighting the same boss and you keep learning the patterns, you keep learning the patterns. And then the last time you ran out of potions, but you're like, cool, I got this. And when you restart again, but you still have no potions. You can't go buy nothing. Whatever happens. It is what it is. And now you're like, damn, I can't go back and train. There's no more time left to train. The checkpoint is moved forward. It's over. So you try to do whatever you can, but it's over. You have that constant hurdle. You lost your friend. You can't go back in time to bring your friend back. You lost a bet. You can't go back in time to change that bet. The checkpoint has moved. And that's just it. It's him living and dealing with the consequences while still trying to remember multiple lives. Because if he altered in any way, shape, or form, he's like, okay, I did this today instead of that. So I don't want to do that because I want this to happen. And it's like, it's kind of crazy. His power is to go back in time, try to figure out how to beat people. And let's say you beat someone accidentally the wrong way, or you reveal something you didn't want to reveal. Like, let me go back in time. Nope, checkpoint move. Sorry, game over. Move forward. It's just, you never know what's going to happen next because what happens next could change at any given time. And I enjoy that about ReZero. That's probably why it's most popular. It's not the most popular isekai, though, because the most popular isekai that a lot of y'all watch, too, didn't even know it was an isekai. It's Digimon, Digital Monsters, Digimon, the Champions. The original isekai, the OG isekai.
You killed that.
Listen, people don't put it together. Listen, they were kids.
It is.
They were kids literally transported to another world with digital monsters. And their job was to change the digital world. Bruh. Isekais have been around forever. And Inuyasha is one of them. But Digimon was a lot of our first introduction into an isekai. And quite frankly, it's the epitome of it. You go into another world, you're given some power, you're given some task, you're given friends or family, you're given people to overcome, you're given numerous objectives. There's infighting, there's growth, there's development. And then on the plus side, they escaped it. They managed to get out and save the digital world. So shout out to Digimon for being the OG isekai, for real. That's for me though. What's your OG isekai? I know you got something up there.
Digimon into Ultimate.
And it was a banger too. We talked about that. We talked about bangers the other day too. Yo,
song, yes sir.
I don't know what I can say.
Now,
I can't say. But
I'm gonna talk about a lesser known one.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna tell you who I got for you know what.
Okay.
Whooping on that boy. Now, one of my favorite isekai was put on by a buddy of mine that makes anime content, Nebula. Go follow Nebula. But he put me on the 12 Kingdoms. So the 12 Kingdoms is an older anime, and it centers around this high school girl named Yoko. Yoko is a perfectionist, and she's a people pleaser. So she's under constant pressure because she's always trying to do the right thing, make everybody happy, and be an example. Well, this random dude with gray hair popped up in her classroom, and he's like, yo, you're the queen. You gotta come with me. We finna go to this other world. She's like, bro, I don't even know you. What are you doing here? So these creatures pop up in the classroom, and she sees that he's able to do something with the creatures. And she like, you ain't gonna save nobody? He's like, I'm just worried about you. I'm not worried about all the rest of these people, bro. So, long story short, he saves her. They end up, so it was her best friend with the main character syndrome, and a boy in the class. They all end up going to the other world. And essentially, he was a I don't know the exact term because I can't remember, but he was a king chooser. Like he was from a certain race of creature that they have a human form, and
A king chooser.
they automatically are able to see who has the qualities to be the next ruler of each individual kingdom.
Okay.
It's broken up into 12 kingdoms. And he's just trying to safely get her to where she needs to be to assume her proper position. She's like, this is all too much. I don't know nothing about ruling no country. I don't even know how to protect myself over here. And the whole time she's in conflict with this person who, because she was in another world in the first place, there was a whole big deal about that. The other person installed themselves into the leadership role, but because of that, things are negatively happening in that kingdom. So it's like a very, very fleshed out story. There's beast people, there's regular humans, there's creatures that can transform into other things. The kingdoms, some of them work together, some of them not so much, kind of hostile. But the 12 Kingdoms was easily, I would say, I'm not completely finished with it yet. I'm pretty sure I'm like 20 plus episodes in. Okay. That's one of the best isekai I think I've ever seen in my life. And you can actually, funny enough, you can actually find that on Tubi.
Tubi?
It's on Tubi.
What the?
Yes, it's on Tubi. It's really good, man.
Shout out to Tubi, I guess.
When it comes to building kingdoms, Goku's more concerned with destroying than building. But when we're talking about kings, let's go ahead and talk about that boy Sinbad.
Okay, listen, you're gonna make some people upset about that. But you're telling me that you think Sinbad could be Goku? Explain it to me.
The man with immeasurable speed, the man with immeasurable strength, the man who can literally think of something and it's going to happen. Sinbad is on a whole different level than what you can consider Goku to ever be on. I know a lot of people like to say Goku's the strongest anime character, even though he's not the strongest character in his own anime. Because Zeno is the all-feared being, and I really don't know that he could beat Beerus right now.
Can't be Beerus, can't be Whis, can't be the Great Priest.
If the fight goes too long, he don't get confused with Vegeta, he might not beat Broly. We don't even know if he can beat Vegeta, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? That's the hey, that's I'm just saying Vegeta's undefeated, but against Goku.
Okay.
But then look, they be playing my boy face. I'm getting off track.
Frieza whooped that boy. Like, I want to be a Super Saiyan. I want.
Sinbad from Magi is in a whole nother plane. That boy is multiversal in terms of strength. So let's not play with the boys from Magi. You definitely need to watch Magi if you haven't seen it, people.
Yes.
Pretty sure it's on Netflix, isn't it?
Netflix keeps rotating stuff around, but it was original Netflix. There was Magi, Tales of Sinbad, Magi with Aladdin, all those. Listen, Magi is great, and Sinbad is a problem. When he hit him with that Baradak Sais, Bull is literally, Bull is built different. He's designed different. And once again, we have yet another character that can be Goku. But we do love Goku. We love Goku.
Make sure people know that y'all, we Kami Konversations. We love Goku.
Exactly. We love Goku. You know?
Make sure y'all drop in the comments or let us know, send us a message, let us know what you think are some isekai that you really enjoy or some of the ones that we missed, because there's no way we would ever have time to talk about every single isekai out there. We would be sitting here for days.
Absolutely. Listen, and if you say that we're wrong about any of our picks, or if you think that we mentioned someone that actually couldn't be Goku, be sure to let us know down there, all right? Let us know. We're open to conversations, hence Kami Konversations. But we're going to end this like we always end this, with a DBZ-style outro. So,
there you go.
There we go. Will Isekai continue to be the best type of anime out there? Will we find 75 billion more people that can beat Goku? And is Digimon the first OP Isekai? Find out next time on Kami Konversations. And as always, guys, once again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening or watching. Be sure to share with a friend, like, comment, and subscribe for more Kami Conversations. Welcome to the Lookout.